I'm Mark Greenstein, and this is the Daily Fire for March 23rd. We have news from somebody who has, again, gone downhill from a really high point of almost reverence for me in early 2016 to this. Dr. Ben Carson, our cabinet member, blaming his profligate expense of furniture, $31,000, on, get ready, his wife. This is not what you want to say. If that included a couch, that nice furniture, Ben, you're probably going to be sleeping on it for a while. I hope it's a good one. $31,000 for furniture is outlandish when it's at government expense, because that's at our expense. And of all people, President Trump really should be irate about this. This is his third cabinet secretary that has gone Hollywood with newfound expense money that shouldn't be done. That's the third that we know about. There might be others. Trump's a tough stand-up guy. Where is he on this? Here's where this guy would be. I, Mark Stewart, if I am occupying the executive offices in Connecticut, there's not going to be any personal expense for people on Connecticut salaries. Now, there may be office expense, but it needs to be frugal. And my guideline would humbly be, your office expense can be no more than 80% of the average office expense privately. Okay? We'll make a comparison, and our job is to be frugal with that money. It's fortunate you even have an expense account to decorate offices. But with it, be frugal. As you might have seen, I would like to make sure that the next governor is calling out any legislators who vote for things that cost us too much money. That's the bigger problem. And unfortunately, it's a generalized one because the General Assembly votes in large blocks without even paying much attention. Or maybe they do pay attention and don't care. That's how we get huge deficits. That's how we get bonding after bonding that our legislature in the Connecticut doesn't seem to want to add up. Washington, D.C., just as bad, maybe worse. The latest bipartisan sellout, that's what I'll call it. Democrats are gleeful. Republicans are pretty happy, not the Tea Party Republicans, but those who voted for the omnibus bill, a bad word, it should almost be a swear word. Those who voted for it have sold out you. And my contention when somebody says, well, you're not caring about some needy group of people. Yes, I am. The needy group is our next generation and the generation beyond that who have to pay for largesse. You are evil if you are expecting future generations to pay for your stuff. The most you should be doing is expecting the current generation to pay down the road. You do have to bond some things. It's the equivalent of a mortgage. You shouldn't do that without great respect for all the other expenses that will accrue to this generation, and even more respect for expenses that the next generation will have to pay for. Because if they get too high, guess what? That generation won't even stay in Connecticut. They will leave because of the burdens. There's a lot of them leaving now because of, I think, relatively minor burdens, and because of neat opportunities elsewhere. We can't do much about people who want to be on Broadway, living in New York. People who want to be big-time computer programmers being in Silicon Valley. Can't stop those millennials from leaving Connecticut. I do think a lot of them will come back when they want to have families in their 30s. But the flight out of Connecticut for some is because it's not just writing on the wall. It's actuality for the last 30 years of not caring about the pocketbooks of us. I care exceptionally highly. Everyone who sees my campaign knows that the slashing is not because I don't care about groups of people. I do care about the large group called the general populace. And if I'm going to make a trade-off, there's a small group that's taking a lot because they don't want to work. Or an even smaller group that's taking a lot because they fake disability and get on insurance money after all that on the state. Versus people who have to pay for that, I'm on the side of we who have to pay and our pocketbooks. I'm Mark Stewart Greenstein, candidate for governor for making a better Connecticut.